Troopers. I recorded this last night before going to bed for a time release this morning. So I finished off the old Strombecker, now Glencoe space station, the Wernher von Braun space station. And decals were gotten pretty crunchy, but I was able to mostly use them. However, there was one major faux pas that I made. No matter how simple the kit or how experienced the modeler, it's never underestimate your ability to confuse two similar looking parts. Now, the large circular section is connected to this intersection by these three, I'll call them cross members, and they are side specific. I'm not sure why, because they're basically the same shape, but three of them have a ridge on the inside and three of them have a trough on the inside, and they only fit one way. So I was very careful to make sure I got them on the correct part of the major circular space station, not a problem. Somehow I managed to get the center parts of them confused, and as a result, when I went to mount it, I didn't catch it when I was mounting. I knew it took a lot of pressure to get the pieces to sit down. The ones with the trough sat down no problem because it was trough over trough, but the ones with the ridge were butting against each other, and that caused some issues. So I didn't realize this until I'd already gotten everything rigged, mostly completely rigged, and I was trying to put the halves together, and there was no way I was going to remove all that rigging. So I was able to get a couple of the tube sections off, scrape off the ridges on both parts, both the center part and the tube, and get it to sort of sit back down. But still, there were some pretty nasty gaps when I was done. And at this stage, I was like, look, this isn't a kit I was going to go into the weeds in it with. I'm just going to do it. Again, it's like the way I built when I was 10 or 12. So I fell back on an old cheat that I had when I was 10 or 12. It took some finagling, but I took some Tamiya tape, which pretty much matched the color close enough, and just wrapped those tubes. I mean, things got such a rough finish anyway, it just looks like they put a thermal blanket around it. And I'm like, good enough for 12-year-old Max, good enough for me, 62-year-old Max, playing 12-year-old Max. And I was like, my gosh, this kit isn't even that hard, and I managed to get a major component in backwards. And of course, I could have just popped off the rigging, stripped everything off, and done it over. But I was like, nope, I'm going to do this like I do it when I was 10, not like I would do it today. If I get another one of these kits, I promise I'll build it right. But I will say this much. The rigging was kind of fun to play with, but absolutely, if you're going to build this kit, you want to make a nice kit out of it. You don't want to use string or easy line. You want to get yourself some thin styrene rod or guitar string or something like that. Build the kit, sand it, paint it, decal it, and then when you're all done, the last thing is just go ahead and put the wires in the holes using styrene or wire. That's the way everybody recommended to do it. I only did it this way kind of for the challenge, and because when I was a kid, that's the way I'd done it. And that was the idea behind that. But you know what? Although it's got, I used a little, I actually went ahead and used a little more of the Tamiya tape because it matched so close, to go ahead and just cover some of the big gap areas. And I was like, you know what? It actually looks pretty cool. I'm happy with it. And that's all that really matters. It was fun. And I'm glad I'm kind of on a space station kick right now. So it was a hoot. Now, if I do get another one at some point, I will max that one out, pardon the pun. But for this, for what it is, perfectly happy with it. It was funny. I just mentioned how you sometimes have to engineer your way out of your own problems, problems of your own making. And there we have it. So real blast from the past. And be honest, pretty rough kit, but everybody already knows that. But you know what? It is what it is. And what more can you want from a kit? By the way, Glue Trooper stopped by Hurricane Hobbies from Augusta, Georgia. So I'm glad you got to come by. Salute for that. And guys, take care of yourselves. And as always, model on.